Hey everybody, welcome to Misfit Monday. I'm Jonny, I'm the DM, and for a list of the cast names and socials and pronouns and all that good stuff, you can check the episode chat or the description. Nope. The chat or the episode description. There we go, nailed it. We stream Ravenloft Misfits each Monday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, so please make sure to follow us, subscribe to the channel, participate in the chat, join our Discord, share with your friends, do all the things. A quick update, we are 9,400 listens on our podcast version, so we are very, very close to 10,000. Help us get there by giving us 5 stars and a good review, and share it with your friends.
Just put it on a loop while you go to sleep.
Just do that. That works too. Just
I should do
if
that.
all of us do that,
That's a good idea.
all of us do that, we can
like 20,000.
Yeah, we can hit 20,000 easy. Yeah, our sponsors.
Oh, I may have forgotten how to do a sponsor read, but I'll never forget the wide capabilities of Roll20, which is such a great app and website that lets us play this D&D game together across the world. It's like it has all the functionality. You can roll all your dice, make all your maps, play all your games, keep track of all your characters. You don't need any pen or paper. Makes it so much easier and streamlined for all your TTRPG experiences. Check out roll20.net. Tell them we sent you. It's the best.
You won't check out Roll20. Next, we are gonna be talking about Sirenscape. If you're interested in Sirenscape, it's a great ambiance music application that you can use for your D&D/TTRPG game. They are preloaded with a lot of cool D&D adventures already. So like Curse of Strahd, they did Wild Beyond the Witchlight at some point. I don't know if they finished that, but anyways, you should check it out. It's really great. If you would like to check it out and support the channel at the same time, you can follow a link in our chat or our episode description, and you can follow that link, get a super siren subscriber stuff. I was trying to think of another S word, but I couldn't do it. You could get a super siren subscriber thing, and then that money will also partially go to us and support our channel as well. So if you want to do that, check it out in the chat/episode description. That's about it. Yeah, that's about it. Cool.
Yeah.
Go over some
Good stuff.
what happened last session. So, last session, episode 45, which just is bonkers to me to think about. It's been 45 sessions.
Wild.
You defeated Baba Lysaga, and you all received a well-deserved rest. However, before the rest, a few things had happened, and during the rest, a few things have happened, and after the rest, shit, things just happened last session. Oh my goodness. Leilyn and Beatrice had basically teamed up to figure out what was going on with Arxes. They were trying to see what was the source of his power and why he was acting so strange. Beatrice casted Identify on Arxes and learned that there was some sort of dark thing inside of him that was giving him his power. During this time of the Identify spell, Arxes had experienced a dream simultaneously where he had defeated Strahd and become the new king of Barovia. And after speaking with the Kingmaker, Arxes received a boon, granting him with much more power than he had before. But after Leilyn and Beatrice finished their watch, Vaughn and Arxes took their watch. And Vaughn had asked Arxes for a little bit of advice on how to approach Beatrice. Vaughn had thought that Beatrice was mad at them and had hoped that gathering poisonous mushrooms and flowers and other sorts of flora and stuff would be enough as a sort of peace offering to keep Beatrice as a friend. after the very long pep talk between Vaughn and Arxes, going back and forth with Arxes not doing great at talking, and Vaughn also just, it was a thing. But after that, you all went to sleep. We woke up in the morning with Vaughn walking directly to Beatrice, and Beatrice had literally broken Vaughn's heart by saying that they were never friends to begin with, and left it at that. So, yeah. But after skipping over a few bits of travel, you came up to the intersection between Valakai, Berez, Van Richten's Tower, and where the winery road goes. And that is where Esmeralda stated that she would be leaving the group to go and check on her mentor, and that she would meet you guys back at the winery in about a week. And finally, you arrived at the winery, where you were greeted with friendly faces, something that is a hot commodity in Barovia. Elvir planted the gem. Arxes spoke to Aurora. Beatrice tried and failed to somehow fix what she had broken between her and Vaughn. A long rest was had, and the party awoke the next day ready to set off for Moonshade, the village in which Sorsha was leaving the group to go and find her mother. Elvir stated that he had followed Sorsha to find exactly where Moonshade was, so he was willing to bring you all there as a guide. And just before leaving, Arxes spoke once again to Aurora and Leilyn, who decided to stay. He stated that there was a deal that he had made with some entity, that this deal was made to protect his family, but after learning about the bad things that were happening with Arxes, Aurora made sure to tell Arxes that whatever he was doing was not to protect the family, but for him himself. So, as the Misfits leave the winery, making their way towards Moonshade, what would you all like to do? Katya.
I'd actually like to, since I missed last session, by the way, I listened back, and bravo, just great job, everybody. So good. Just quick couple points of order, if I can do a couple little retcons. So, just put in when everybody was getting absolutely plastered, just put in the image of Katya, like, begrudgingly babysitting everybody and trying to keep a goddamn handle on everybody while they go nuts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Similarly, when Katya and Esmeralda take a watch together, I don't know if you want to do that scene or not, but Katya's absolutely not saying shit. She would not give the first word. So if Esmeralda also doesn't, then picture two women bitterly on just staring away from each other on opposite ends of a campfire for an entire night, just stewing in each other's bitterness. Fucking awkward.
Let's see.
Stewing.
No, yeah, she wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, okay, so bitter silence an entire night.
I love it.
And the last thing, Glass Onion was a lot better than Knives Out.
Yes! Let's go!
I'm with you, Johnny.
Let's go.
Knives Out is mid.
We just come out guns blazing on this one. All right.
You're muted, El.
They're both good, okay?
You're muted again.
I know. I left it intentionally muted. I want to keep it PG-13.
Got it.
You can show love for both of them. You know, it's okay.
They're both good. They're both good, but
yeah, if you like that movie, you can like it.
Yeah. So,
it wasn't that bad.
With that, you all begin your travel. Elvir taking the front to lead you down the trail that Katya is familiar to you, leading towards Yester Hill. It seems that the main road that leads to Moonshade is also this road that leads to Yester Hill. So, while you travel, is there anything you would like to do? Beatrice?
Is there anything I know about the route, possibly about hazards, like nature-wise? Is it bugs? Are we possibly going to be dealing with like poison plants, anything like that?
I would say do a nature check. I guess that would make the most sense based off intelligence, so what you would know.
Yeah, whatever makes sense.
There it is. 15. You would know that it's mostly forest out here. You would also know with just a 15 that the only place that's really like a bog type swamp area is really just Berez. That was the only like out of nowhere kind of landscape within Barovia. Everything else is kind of just rainy forest and mountain. But
Got it. And are we going to be getting to the Luna River today, or is that I don't know the scale of the map.
Luna River will probably be the next day.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys, I usually just go with a easy 25 miles for walking. So yeah, probably you'll get to Yester Hill, and then after that it'll take probably like a couple hours before you get to the Luna River.
Got it. So it'd be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to say that Arxes is not very loudly, but like not trying to be quiet, but not trying to be too loud either. He's just singing a song, which I won't sing, but I will say the lyrics. He goes, "Yester Hill, over that way a witch I killed. Now it looks as though the mists are still. Oh, I believe in Yester Hill." Yeah.
Was that possibly to the tune of?
Yeah.
100%.
That's exactly that, yeah.
So, you have the open road ahead of you. Is there anything you would like to do? Or would you like to just
I
fast
actually
travel?
do want to talk to Beatrice at some point.
Sure.
While we're walking, just casually going along.
Mhm.
Do you mind if we talk? I'd like, I don't know, back up or pace myself so that we're talking. Like, do you mind if I talk to you for a moment?
Of course not.
Actually, well, I wanted to talk, but I also need to ask for your help in something and maybe catch you up to speed a little bit. Are
Well, you do have my interest piqued.
You're from Strahd's castle. You're familiar with the woman there. My mother.
We've met.
I spent much time with her around there.
Jonny, would I have spent much time with her?
No, not really. She's more of like a ambassador than she is a Barovia resident. So she'll come here every once in a while, but I would say like the amount of times that she's been here is very rare.
I consider a couple dinners every once in a while. Why?
Then you know what a fucking awful woman she is. The point is that the other half of my blood comes from Strahd. And the two of them, I'm sure you saw, have powerful control over my mind. And so
Yes.
I'm wondering if we're going to fight them down the line, if there's any way I could protect myself from that, or if you have any means of guarding me from their control.
I might.
If you think of anything, but it's just something I think we could work on, and I don't plan on getting anywhere near either of them until I can figure that out, because I'm going to need control to fight them.
Why ask me and not Leilyn or one of the other casters that you're more familiar with?
I like kind of look her up and down. Like, you have a lot of. It seems like you have a lot of experience with magical technologies, gadgets, items. Thought maybe you could build something, or if you knew of something, a method. I'm just exploring all my options. And, you know, some other things I wanted to talk about while I'm here.
I sort of gesture to the walk ahead.
She pulls out this like packet of paper and is like, I actually started working on this when I was pretty pissed off at you, but I figure since, you know, we both almost died again, it's a hatchet under the bridge, so here. Just don't this is for you when you're not, and I like look up under the sky, like, when you're not under prying eyes, okay? And I'm sorry that Cosette got hurt back however long ago. I know it's important to you.
I take the papers and avert my eyes. Thank you.
It's like, it's not, it's folded in like such a way, and just so that like fucking Strahd's not gonna read it. You don't have to do a whole, like, you don't have to worry about it. Basically, when you open it, it's the longest, pettiest, like, catalog of every encounter we've had and, like, every monster we've fought and every, like, enemy and piece of information we've had, down to, like, every ability and move they've used against us. And then on the back page is essentially like everything I learned about Strahd's history and the journal, and there's a magic sword in an amber temple that we can use to kill him that we need to go get. So like, I'm basically catching you up to speed on everything we know in here in the longest, pettiest fucking way I could do.
You are exhaustive. I say, sort of like scrolling down the list. It's a pity this isn't recorded in some fashion that people could watch after the fact. Make things a lot cleaner.
Yes, you know. If only we had the means. Make my life a lot easier, but if you're going to come with us, I figure you might want to know what's going on and be up to speed on things, so there you are. And like I said, I was in a bit of a mood when I started it, so that's why I went to such great lengths.
Well,
and I'm just kind of like staring off now, like a little awkward.
I, in the moment, sort of like sneak a glance at her. It's kind of hard to look at her because how much does she look like Strahd?
That's one thing that I haven't really like. I haven't talked to Zack about. This was all a surprise for Zack, like out of character.
This was not planned.
Yeah. I kind of took creative liberty for that. I don't know. I think that would be a Zack question.
You know, I think, given what information I have now, I think you wouldn't see it until you're told. Like, now that you have the information, you can kind of put it together and be like, oh, yeah, it's totally been there the whole time. Now that
Especially
I know to
now
look
that
for
you know
it.
the other half as well, which is her mother, Diavola.
Yeah.
Which I think I knew at this point, but I don't think
you
they've, like,
have
talked
definitely
about it.
seen Diavola, and you've spoken to her briefly, but you've spoken to her.
Niceties over dinner at some point.
Exactly, right. But outside of that, you weren't like close by any means.
I probably didn't like her very much, frankly.
Can imagine why.
Yeah.
Personal reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's not like striking resemblance, but it's definitely there when you know to look for it.
So.
I glance at it. It's a little odd seeing these features in daylight.
Daylight.
Well, thank you very much for that. I will review them as much as I can. And as for the protection of your mind, could you help me down, dear? And I put out an arm to be helped down from a log.
I grab her. I take her and help her along.
There are certain enchantments, though they are not permanent. But I do have abilities to protect your mind for an hour at a time. To an extent, it would grant you certain advantages against enchantment, but it would not be a perfect fortress.
Suppose we'll take whatever advantage we can get. I just don't want to turn on my friends again. It was a powerful hypnosis. I forgot every terrible thing my mother did. And it's like we had been best friends my entire life. It was scary. And I just want to avoid that happening again.
No part of it was nice to think that you and your mother had a good relationship?
Maybe in the moment, I'm being honest, but waking up to the realization of what she's done and what she did to trick me, it made it all fresh again. Like I was reliving everything.
I'm sorry you went through that. I'll see if we can try and prevent it in the future, if not for our own sakes.
Whatever we have to do, I am just asking for ideas, and if you can think of anything, I appreciate whatever you can come up with.
I incline my head. Of course. We are working together, of course. We might as well help one another.
My thoughts exact.
All right.
After you. I sort of gesture, continue on the path.
You continue forward, trudging along on the muddy road with the rain, as per usual, falling down upon you. Is there anything else anybody would like to do?
At some point when we take some sort of break, I do go down into the workshop and I get out one of the small containers I have that I've, in a moment of anger, tossed all of the things and trinkets we got from Babala Sargon, and I bring that out while people are sharing their water or whatever. We need to go through this at some point. I've gone through and identified as much of it as there is worth identifying, but does anyone have any preferences for any of this?
To remind everybody,
Nope.
there is
Yes,
a here. I will just show you all of the handouts. That way, you guys can just go through them yourselves. There are pipes of haunting. There is a stone of good luck. There is a spell scroll of revivify. There is a spell scroll of mass cure wounds. And outside of that, I'll have to look back at the notes in terms of how much was in there. 1,300 gold pieces. 500 gold piece worth gemstones. And a vial of... Oh, right. A vial of the oil of sharpness.
What does that do? Everything else I'm familiar with.
Oil of sharpness makes whatever you put it on for an hour a +3. So Arxes can have a +3 greatsword, or Katya can have a +3 longsword.
Does that
I think
stack
Vaughn
with any
kind of uses
bones?
psychic blade, so I don't know if that would really work. But
they
the two
don't
of them can
do slashing or
definitely-
piercing.
Yeah.
Does that stack with other bonuses?
Great.
I would say no. You can't have two
Alright.
of the same thing. So it would just be like a +3. You can't have like a +1 and then now a +4. It would only be just a +3.
So we also have those 10 +1 bullets, right? Yeah.
Right. There's a sling of 10 +1 sling bullets. They're not like bullets. They're just like small pebbles, kind of. But they're iron. So I know that Arxes Extell was saying that he would be taking that and changing it into something that's more usable for everybody.
I also have Smith's tools.
Yeah.
Oh, well then.
I can get to work on that now if you'd like.
Well, does anyone have an interest in any of this? I can take this because I can at least use it, picking up the Revivify scroll. But anything else?
Nah. I would say I would like that oil there, but if it does what you say it does, but honestly, it might be better in Katya's hands.
It's up to you. You can take it if you like it. I'm not particularly inclined.
It's okay. I've got you're a little bit faster than me in combat. You're able to put off more attacks. So,
all right,
probably more beneficial for you.
I'll
I
take
still got, my holy smites, so it's still fine.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Just checking if I need spell components or stuff. So oil of sharpness between the two of you guys.
I think it's going to Katya, yeah.
Yeah, just to Katya.
Can anyone play pipes?
I used to be pretty good at instruments back in the day, but I don't know if I still got the chops.
I'm like holding it, and I'm just like, I think Sorsha might like this. Might give it to her if none of you want it. And I'll like hold it out, like,
The last time I played those pipes, a child threw a rock at me.
I'll keep that in mind.
Granted, that's probably one of the nicest things a child has ever done to me, but...
So don't play it around children. I understand.
That might have been a just me thing, though.
It's a little depressing.
Probably.
Would you like, would you like me to cook you some pancakes?
I look him dead in the eyes, and I'm just like, it was probably the pipes.
Yeah. Watch the pipes. Would you like some waffles or pancakes? I can whip us up something.
From my understanding, those were a morning time festivity.
You can have breakfast anytime.
What?
Yeah.
This is the great thing about being an adult, Vaughn, is you get to eat breakfast whenever you want.
Yeah. Whatever food you want, you can have it at any time.
Then I suppose that would be neat. If no one's going to take the cute cat.
Is it cat?
I hold up the stone.
I thought an actual cat was running around. I get to work on.
No, cats hiss at me when they approach. Makes me sad because they look very pettable.
Well, you can pet this one then.
They probably just don't, want to sully your greatness with their presence. And I look at Katya.
Yes, cats are very aware of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll ask Sorsha. By all means, go for it.
I also want to remind you that you guys have a potion of stone giant strength.
That's good to know.
Floating in your bag of holding.
Now.
Yeah, ever since the
Archibald,
ever since
right?
the
What the hell else?
no, not Archibald. It was the werewolf den.
Oh, wow, that far back. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. You also have
Completely
2
forgot
potions
about
of healing and a potion of greater healing. So,
Okay, so
also
I-
keep that in
I-
mind.
Dump that out. I just like dump the bag holding
Sure.
out. I'm like, just so I'm clear on this. Okay, and I like dump it out. I'm like, does anybody want to hold on to these while I'm thinking about it?
I'll take that strength one. That's always fun.
Yeah, that seems fair, actually.
Let's Von you on it. I mean,
What? What is this?
It's
it's
the
a-
potion of stone giant strength.
I'm already quite strong.
damn. Okay, no need to rub
If
it in.
you-
I'll take it. Fine. buttermilk pancakes, or you want blueberries in them?
If we have blueberries,
Oh,
It's
Boris,
something
I'm gonna-
my wife made. It's okay.
Yeah.
Tastes like them.
the only blueberries that I've eaten made me vomit for 5 days.
those are the wrong
Strawberries?
those. Were they blueberries or were they berries that were blue?
They were berries that were blue. Is there a
Okay.
difference between that and a
That's-
blueberry?
That's
Not,
the
not
problem.
actually.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you want
love it.
here? I hand Vaughn potion of
A
healing.
blueberry?
Oh.
Why don't you hold on to this?
All right.
Just drink it when you're about to die. Beatrice, do you want a healing potion?
Sure.
Hold on to it. Quite cool. And we're over there. I'll
It's
hold
a
on
common
to it.
or
Yeah, just a regular.
Unless you
Got
want
it.
the greater.
There is a greater.
I have other ways of healing myself.
Okay. I'll hold on to the greater for now.
Arxes has made a stack of 75 pancakes.
Jesus.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm used to cooking them fast. Leilyn eats a lot. You'd be surprised.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
What's that one there for? What's his face is with us too, right? Elvir?
Elvir. Yeah.
Elvir's with us, so that's
You want to keep the potion of greater healing to yourself, Katya?
yeah. I'm just gonna
Okay,
keep
cool.
that in the bag.
Put that in there. Right, and you have the bag of holding. I forgot. Cool. I'm just moving everything into your respective folders so that you
That's
have it.
15 pancakes a piece.
Yep.
So many.
That's a lot.
No,
All
it's
right.
good.
Oh, are they
you
all
know.
just this big though? Just
What-
tiny little guys?
No, they're pretty big waffles.
I'm gonna eat. Oh, I eat all of them. I'm still hungry.
Jesus.
I rolled a
Gotcha.
nat 20 on
Hell
how
yeah.
many pancakes I eat. So yeah, I could go for more. Actually, I'm good.
I pass over the generous portion that's left of mine.
I'll eat 5 more.
It's,
Nice.
It's a nice mix. With I've put protein powder in it, so it's good
Hell
for
yeah.
the gains.
Ugh.
Just
That's
makes
why
it
my
taste a little
might smell like that, you know.
dry. Okay. So I am imagining that you all end up making your way towards Yesterhill to end the night of travel. On the way there, Elvir is going to approach Vaughn.
Uh-uh.
Hi, I saw you come
Hello.
with everyone else, and I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Elvir. Have you met Sorsha?
I have not had the pleasure yet, no.
That's
From my understanding of the rest of our compatriots, that we will potentially get along fairly well, which is strange because no one gets along with me, apparently. My apologies, introductions. I'm Stradvan Zarovich. You can call me Vaughn, if that is more appeasing.
yeah. He like looks away and then sees Arxes like you're good. That's yeah, and then he's well, it is nice to meet you, Vaughn. You just seemed really quiet, so I just wanted to come by. I hadn't met you yet, so.
That is very kind of you. I do not necessarily understand how much information I'm supposed to provide to you, but I am very sad. So that is why I have been quiet.
Oh, did something happen? You don't have to talk about it. It's okay if you don't want
It's
to.
fine. If you had thought someone was your friend and then they said they weren't, how would you go about reclaiming them as a friend?
Well, I don't know if I would want them to be a friend if they said that you weren't. But if you are saying that you do want to have them as a friend again, because I'm not going to judge you either way, I'm just saying something to think about. But if you did want to have them as a friend again, I guess you could just try spending time with them in a way where, try to maybe talk about their interests more than your own. Most of the time when you're speaking to people, they'll go on and on about, what they're interested in, and so maybe
Right.
try to do something like that.
No, that it would. That's logical and understandable. I could do something probably of that ilk.
I'm sorry that you're going through that.
I did, man. What's new?
That doesn't make it any less difficult.
Yeah.
He puts a hand on your shoulder, your very tall shoulder.
I'll hunch lower.
He just puts a hand on your shoulder. I'm sorry.
It is all right.
If you'd like, I can be a friend.
You'd like that? You would like to be my friend?
He just looks back to each of the other party members and just, yeah, I mean, if you're friends with them, I mean. I like this.
Yeah,
This is
for the most,
I like you.
for
I
the
like
most
your
part,
vibe.
yeah. No one has ever liked
You would
my
love to
vibe.
meet Sorsha, let me tell you.
I'm quite both frightened of that and also very excited for that.
Oh, don't be
And-
frightened. She'll cut through the bullshit and she'll just tell you that you're friends. Don't worry.
Wonderful. Oh, a day where I will have 3 friends. That'll
He
be a
kinda
day worth
slowly
celebrating.
counts the people. 4.
Kind of like turns back and goes,
Oh. Oh. I see. Got it.
I mean, who's to say?
Okay.
It is quite all right. We are friends now. So I
Yes.
will give you this. I rip my finger off.
Holy shit! Oh my god, are you okay?
It's a gift for you. We can speak through it. It'll only last a day. Once
And
the
that
day is
doesn't
over,
hurt?
it'll reattach to my body once I sleep. Don't worry about how it gets there.
But it doesn't hurt.
the blood's like kind of like slowly oozing out.
Not at all.
That's fucking cool. I don't think I've ever seen somebody do that. That's pretty cool. So where do I keep it? I just like in my pocket.
Wherever. Yeah.
Just puts it in his like little chest pocket. Okay.
Vaughn very excitedly turns back to Arxes.
All right.
What do now? A question for you. What do friends do?
Oh God.
I will braid your hair.
My long, gross fingers.
Well, I don't. And you're like already doing it. And I've never had that happen before, but sure. Yeah. Okay. Well.
I've only
Honestly,
braided
I've never
goat
been
hair
asked
before.
how friends, hang out or do anything like that. I guess it's just like what we're doing now. I don't know.
Lovely. This is very
Arxes.
enjoyable.
Arxes
Great.
walks over with 2 big plates of waffles and sets them down and is like, did I ever tell y'all about the time that Sorsha left a giant elk in a dark dimension mirror?
What?
Funny story. And he recounts
So-
everything that happened.
You all finish eating, and
Yeah, that whole time Katya's just going ham on the on a plate
I'm
of
imagining that
pancakes.
you guys are going just outside of Yesterhill for your campsite instead of on the open clearing. So as you do, the night comes, you see the moon that is just barely visible behind the thick clouds above, and it's a peaceful night.
I'll set an alarm around our camp.
Okay,
It's a 20-foot cube
cool.
around whatever space we're in.
Does anybody want to do watches?
If watches need to be done, I will take the first one.
Okay. Anybody with Arxes?
Sure, I'll take it.
Cool. Katya goes with Arxes. One of you or both of you roll a perception check.
You want to do this?
Sure.
Cool. Advantage.
I don't got that good.
15?
15. Throughout your watch, there's a lot more activity in these woods. Back where in Berez you were staying in your traveling nights, not very many living creatures out there. But here, this forest is lush with animals and plant life. You hear cracks of twigs, random animal sounds. You every so often spot eyes glaring at you high up in the trees, but nothing comes to attack your camp or disturb you in any way. Is there anything you would like to do during your watch?
Gotcha. I don't want there to be just bad blood between us.
Oh, we've been clearing a lot of it today. Yes.
I mean, about what happened back with the witches.
Oh, that.
I didn't really remember what I was doing when I was like that.
Right.
I understand it's concerning. But I mean, if it ever gets to be a problem instead of a hopeful thing for all of us, I'll leave if that's what it has to come down to. I don't want to hurt any of y'all. It's not my goal. It's just
I know that.
My family's been pestered by that undead piece of shit the entire time we've been here. And I see no end other than this.
No, I understand. We have to make tough decisions to achieve our goals. And I get it. And I know what it's like to be out of control of your body, but we will work around it. We will do what we have to do. Don't want you to have to leave. I like having you around. You're good security.
Not so bad yourself.
I like
But yeah,
punch him on the arm a little bit.
still
Solid.
Still kind of tender from above. So. Yeah,
Tell me about it, but
it didn't hurt at all.
he like quietly uses lay on hands like while I'm not looking. I just don't want you to go running headlong into danger without us by your back when we're not ready for it, you know. Taking the initiative is good and getting the upper hand, but there's also a place for strategy and patience and tact.
I'll try to be better about that.
We'll,
No promises. I mean, I am who I am, but I will do my best.
That's all I can ask for. Well, it's worked out so far, right?
Yeah, by the skin of our teeth. Yes, it has.
Yeah. That's how everything seems to go for me lately, but I appreciate the help.
So,
Anytime.
your watch comes to an end. No interruptions whatsoever. Who is taking second watch? Elvie, you're still there.
How are we gonna do this? Huh?
Elvie
What's our
will
plan
take
here?
second watch.
Yeah, that's more a question of who do Arxes and Katya wake up, I guess.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
I mean, I guess Arxes would know that they
True.
don't But also, you two put me with Esmeralda, which was pretty rude. So.
Oh no.
Get him back.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna go wake up Beatrice, and I will leave the rest of the other person out of my hands.
Oh, no.
Arxes, who is it gonna be?
Oh, no.
Or are you just gonna leave Beatrice alone?
Well, I don't. Okay. Okay, because Arxes would like just get up and go to wake up Vaughn is the thing. So I don't know if I don't know if he sees.
I don't.
Katya
I mean, I don't.
Go ahead and do a perception check. See if you see Katya going over to Beatrice.
Please roll. It'll be so funny.
Me and Becca both
Fantastic.
via Zoom made eye contact and did the math of what was happening.
Yeah, I saw that we were both doing that math. I was like,
uh-oh.
Katya doesn't know.
It's a 17.
Okay, 17. You see Katya going over to Beatrice. Now, does Arxes want to do something about that?
Here we go. I do not go to wake up Vaughn. I instead go to a spot within 30 feet of Vaughn. And right underneath Vaughn, I'm gonna cause harmless tremors to wake them up.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna go pretend like I'm asleep. They
Vaughn,
need
I
this.
wake
That's
with
what
the
I'm thinking.
start.
you awaken, and you see the only other
Beatrice is
person that's
already-
up
Just started taking watch.
is Beatrice. Do you just try to go back to sleep, or do you get up? What do you want to do?
Well, I've got to look around. Something's causing an earthquake or something. We could be in danger.
True.
We could be in danger, and it'd be irresponsible.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll kind of prowl around.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess Vaughn will get up.
I glance at them and then like kind of look back out in the direction I was keeping watch.
The ground shook. It was alarming. There could be something out there. I'm unawares. I'm looking for it.
Great start.
I don't see anything, and I don't hear any sound. This is not typically a place that would have earthquakes.
It could be. I mean, there could be a tree walking around or something. You know, it's shaking the ground or something of the ilk. You know, we've seen a few walking trees at this point.
True.
So,
I feel so bad for doing this.
during this very awkward silence, somebody roll a perception check with advantage, or both of you do your own.
I think we are not assisting each other.
Yeah, we're not helping each other.
Yep. Makes sense. Vaughn is a 9.
Yep.
Yep.
9?
So is
Oh, wow.
Beatrice. Both of you
Wow.
are just sitting in this awkwardness, like, should I? No.
We're both
Maybe.
so aware of that and nothing else.
Right,
Not
exactly.
aware of anything else.
Luckily, nothing happens during your watch other than the terrible, dreadful silence that hangs in the air. Is there anything else outside of awkward silence that you would like to get accomplished during this watch, or are we switching over to Elvir?
I think there's a moment where, like, right as one of us is about to go talk to the other one's like, well, I think that's time for us to switch over the watch.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. It's been about that amount of time, hasn't it? Time flies when you're
with an ally.
Oh,
Oh,
oh. All right. And with that,
Good night.
Is it getting cool in here? Because I feel the shade.
I curl into a ball and cry.
And I'll go and wake up Elvir.
okay, Elvir. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Don't get us killed, nice boy.
Yeah.
I had a nickel for every time
it-
somebody said that to me.
I'd have 1 nickel for me. All right. So Elvir is going to do his own perception check. 16 plus whatever he has. I'll have to check, but good so far.
I believe in him.
The night goes through uneventful as you all awaken to the beautiful smells of yet another pancake and waffle breakfast made by none
Both
other
of
than
them?
Arxes himself. Of course. I imagine Arxes is just going all out.
Yeah. Not as many as last night. I know y'all are full up. So this time we're
Yeah, I
just
don't know if I
taking a
could do it,
10
yeah.
each, you know?
Nice. Yeah, 10. It's good.
It's a
We're
light
growing
breakfast.
boys.
But you
Gotta
all
eat, gotta eat our waffles.
awaken the next day to a stormy surrounding. The rain has gotten a little heavier, and you can hear thunder sounds within the dark clouds above. Is there anything you would like to do, or are we traveling on?
I send John half a mile in front of us.
Okay,
And I ask him to keep contact with me at all times and let me know what's going on up ahead.
cool. John approaches Yester Hill as you all begin making your way down the road. Katya, the familiar sight of the large hill and at top of which you see the giant Gultheus tree, this dead-looking tree, yet it stands, its twisting branches gnarling in some places and others, looking like broken fingers reaching up to the sky. John makes his way up the hill and says, "It looks all clear." So,
All right. Keep scouting.
continue forward, making your way up this hill, following this road. Katya, you entered the... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think Beatrice might be like passively looking through the notes that Katya gave her over the course of these travel days.
Sure. Yeah.
Fixating particularly on any time Strahd is mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to like
And,
nail down
every time he's showed up to bother us is in there too.
Can I tell anything about times that he sought the group out? Is there
can.
any uniting factors of why
There is.
he would see?
Irina is one of the main reasons why he came to this group. Mostly. Ever since Irina was taken by him, he hasn't really had very much contact with the party. The invitation wasn't even sent by him, it was by his servant, Rahadin. They went to dinner, but it was only dinner that they saw Strahd. After that, he wasn't there. It seems like Strahd is very much focused on Irina, who he thinks to be Tatiana. Or I guess who is believed to be Tatiana as evidenced through the Tome of Strahd.
Which makes sense. So other than that, he doesn't seem to show any interest in the party at all.
This isn't the first party that's been in Barovia either. So, adding that into the detail, you would know that adventuring parties are playthings for him. He brings them here, toys with them, dangles them from a string, trying to puppet them to save Barovia, inevitably failing in the end and mostly dying. It seems like this is just another one of those parties. A plaything.
Now, would I know much about the previous failed attempts? I imagine I might have done some research on where they went wrong.
Previous parties weren't really documented too much. They weren't worth any time to Strahd. You do know that one of the closest to killing Strahd was actually Arxes' party. However, like the whole details about them, the only reason why it ever came up was because of Arxes. Arxes was alive. And I guess you would actually know that the reason why Arxes was kept alive by Strahd specifically was because he respected him at one point. Respected his power. But inevitably, he broke just like any other person that came to Barovia, in which case he lost his respect for him and decided to play with him again, just as always. As far as anything else goes, this is probably uncharted territory in terms of this party. So.
Specifically, I don't imagine any of the other parties were as powerful as this group. I mean, if Arxes came here in his past, he's presumably more powerful now.
One would think.
Interesting. I just continue flicking through, looking for notes, anything in particular that might strike my eye as I flick through those notes throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. You all make your way up Yester Hill, coming to the familiar battleground that you had fought Sorsha's father, Katya, where the broken tree lies on the ground. And you continue traveling past up to the Golthius tree where you find bodies hanging. Skeletons. And graves dug all surrounding it. This tree has no leaves, but yet you can see blood coming from it, or what appears to be blood. And after closer inspection, it looks like it's tree sap that looks identical to the viscous and interesting qualities that blood has. It smells sweet. It doesn't taste sweet. Vaughn tries a little and learns quickly that it is not something that's delectable by any means.
From our position here on the hill, can we see the mist wall?
Yes. On the western side of this hill, the mist wall is towering over the hill. It's almost like the clouds come directly down in front of you. It's almost like there's no disconnect between the two. But yes, it is very apparent there.
Do I notice anything about it? Is it...
Do a perception check.
Yeah. I don't know if I would have seen it since I first arrived at this point.
Are there any cool plants around?
Also do a perception check.
Okay.
One sec for me. I was going to take a look at this note that I have real quick. One sec.
Note says we all die. We reach the tree and we die.
Campaign ends.
Yeah.
Okay. You take a look towards the outside of the mist wall. It looks like darkness out there, but you swear every so often you see movement. Some sort of shadow moving in the distance.
How large?
Usually slender, tendril almost shaped, but then you see what seems to be figures, humanoid figures. And then you see a giant figure. And tendrils again. Seems like it's all sorts of odd shapes.
I feel very unsettled by that.
It is
Very
indeed
concerning.
a very unsettling sight. It gives you that feeling that there's something out there watching you at all times. And that this isn't the only place of dread. This is only one piece of the whole.
Do you ever wonder what's going on out there?
It hadn't occurred to me before. Just kind of assumed the land continued and it went off to other countries. But this is
It might.
unsettling.
Bless you.
Thank you.
It might, but makes me wonder if you could just fly straight up, would you end up somewhere else as well, or do you have to pass by foot?
Only one way to find out, really.
I'll race you.
I don't know if I can make it in this armor, honestly. I could probably win.
Well, this tree then. Any business we have here? It's ghastly.
Before we get to that, Vaughn. You get a
Yes.
14 on your
Yeah.
perception check to look for nice flowers.
Yeah.
There aren't any types of flowers growing off of the Gulthias tree specifically.
Makes sense.
There are small types of shrubbery that are on the outskirts of this large circle that encompasses the Gulthias tree. You can find a nice pink reddish flower. It has like 5 different petals that come out in almost like a wave to the point. What they look like a specific flower I'm thinking of, but I can't remember the name of it. But just a small little petal that comes to a point in 5 different directions, almost giving it a star look. But you find a few bushes that have that kind of flower.
Okay. I'll pick a few of them.
Mhm.
And I'll kind of slide them away for now.
Okay.
And
Columbine.
Yeah.
I think that's the right one. Let's see. Flower. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
we're looking
A
up flower
columbine.
lore, besties.
Columbine. Yes.
Flower lore is the best
Everyone
lore.
loves a good flower.
Except
flower
minus
story.
the inner petals. It's
the
just
whole-
like the pointed ones. That's what I'm thinking of. Anyways,
All right. Cool.
you find a few of those flowers.
All right.
But
Who are, I'm turning to look. Who are these poor souls? Have you passed through here before?
actually, I learned about it a little bit. Elvir, hi. I don't know if I officially met you. So I have learned that this tree is like a symbol of death. Something that the forest folk would use to celebrate a life and one's death Whereas, and then he points up to the hanging ones, some were disgraced. So, yeah.
Was it bad to eat the sap?
That I don't know. It doesn't.
Okay.
I never learned anything, so maybe
We'll
not.
find out pretty soon.
I'm sure I've eaten things that are far worse than just some bloody sap from a tree.
I'm afraid.
I know for a fact I've eaten some things that are definitely on site much worse.
I'm afraid I believe you, Vaughn.
I 100%.
I like
believe
lean
it.
over to Beatrice and I'm like, darling. I like point at the tree, page 6.
Oh, you did very well describing it. I'll approach a tree and I want to take a sample of sap into my apothecary kit.
Sounds
Or
good.
alchemy kit, I should
Yeah.
say.
You put it in a vial, and you have Gultheus tree sap.
Based on first impressions, can I tell anything about it? Does it seem to have any properties, magical or otherwise?
It doesn't seem to have anything magical about it. It seems like the more stunning feature about it is that it looks like blood. At least on first impressions. However, it might be a pretty decent component in terms of like creating stuff. You would have to learn how to, craft and combine things in order to get some sort of a lasting effect, but it is a potential thing to be used.
I can take a look at it with my alchemy set later. Well, this seemed like a fun enough point to stop for a moment. I was wondering if we could discuss some long-term plans, possibly, for dealing with Lord von Zarovich.
Oh, what did you have in mind?
Well, I just realized I seem to have neglected to mention an area where I might be of assistance to the group if you are interested in possibly.
By all means.
Now, the first things I would say is I was brought to Barovia under certain circumstances and took up a role in the palace that I was not necessarily inactive in my time there. But, which is lucky for all of you, for having someone who knows as much as I do about that palace.
Okay.
Rod took a particular interest in me because of my abilities, as you are aware, my ability to craft things. And the reason I was able to get us out of there so quickly happens to be the same thing. While I was there, I was employed as the palace artificer. The traps and protective enchantments on it were mainly things that I had designed or at least reinforced over time.
So you did the water thing where you like teleport into one of the gels? That was you?
Well, yes.
I see.
Which is why,
Arxes
of course,
nods impressed.
I was able to, now, of course, I took a lot of time and resources that are no longer available to me, but I was able to find you and escort us out of the palace as quickly as I was because of that. Now, I don't know exactly what the long-term plans here in terms of trying to take out Lord von Zarovich, but from what I've seen, he shows no particular interest in this group. The few times he sought you out on his own and left his palace were because you had someone of interest to him.
Right.
I don't think that's necessarily the case anymore. So is your intention to seize the castle?
No, I hadn't really thought about it.
Look over at Arxes. Like,
Yeah, my usual thing is to just, while he wasn't looking, get more powerful, and then make him look, and then kill him when he does.
I see. So, just to put this straight, how long have y'all been traveling together?
Like a week. I don't know. Time is weird.
Arxes, you
weird.
have been with Katya for... two and a half, maybe 3 weeks at this point, with this couple other days of travel, because they got to Kresk, spent like 3 days there, left to the a week was there, so let's say
As I see them all trying
about
to
a month.
calculate an exact time, maybe the more accurate question is, how long have y'all been trying to kill Strahd, either individually or as a group?
let me say this. I have had a lot of different companions in and out of this group, and the plan to kill him has been very fluid. I have information and a certain, not plan, but general idea of the end goal and how to kill him. But yes, getting through the castle is an obstacle that I had not found a solution for, and it seems like you might have some ideas for that, which I am thrilled about, if that's the case.
I might, though it is worth noting, I'm aware of certain areas of the palace, though I may not... I was not the only one there who was necessarily equipped to adjust the defenses, so they may have shifted since my time.
Understood.
Which is also part of why I left. It became apparent to me I was becoming less necessary. That being said, I don't mean this as nobody get as a judgment, but just I find it a bit surprising that multiple of you have had a lifelong vendetta against the man and no one's actually put serious thought into how to actually kill him.
I mean, you just kill him. Like, that's the...
I
That's
have
the-
put
that's the
more
way I'm
thought
gonna
into
go
it
about
than
it.
that.
Yeah.
I don't like kind of look. I don't love talking about this kind of stuff in the open. I have no idea who's listening to us right now. It's been a real issue before, so if we could, and I like point to the packet, and I'm like, at the back.
Sorry. I guess I should clarify why I'm so loose with my tongue. I am indetectable by Strahd or anyone else.
Oh,
Does that extend to everyone else here, or is that just you?
I don't believe it does. I'm gonna double check on that.
I'm pretty sure it's only you.
I think it's only me, as I
Does
sort
it-
of tap.
extend to items she's holding and reading.
It
Yeah.
would be me and anything I'm carrying, I believe.
Okay, great. So I grab it, flip it to the last page, and hand it, and I'm like, and it just says basically, there's an amber temple to the north with a magic sun sword that he's weak to that will kill him, and also we know that his coffin lair weak spot is in the bottom of the castle where he sleeps. And I'm like, there is certain information here that I have been working on the assumption of capitalizing on. You catch my drift.
I understand. Now, Jonny, I know about certain things in the palace that are not deep below it, that are also of interest. Correct?
Right. Yeah.
All right. This is good to know.
Wait, if you're indetectable and you're with us, and he knows you're with us, doesn't that make you detectable?
I mean, he might not know I'm with you.
It's a big Streisand effect.
I don't know. I'm not the smartest.
At the very least,
sword in the
he
bunch.
cannot
I'm just
hear what she is saying. Just good enough for us. For now.
This is true.
If he had any interest in finding me, he would have done so. He's made it very clear he does not show such interest.
Do you know if he kept any bodies in the castle?
He has.
Jonny. He does have his collections. Looking to look someone up?
Yeah. Maybe. Look, the planning is y'all are much smarter than me, so yeah. I'm there to hit stuff, so if you got something for me to do, I'll gladly do it.
There is a room at the top of the castle that Strahd protects very fiercely. It seems to contain. Can you give me a? It was like a.
Talking about the
kind
heart?
of like the heart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a crystal heart. There is a spire within Castle Ravenloft that if you were to travel to the very top of, you would find a red glowing, beating crystal heart.
I don't know exactly what it is, as he didn't often let anyone go too near it, but there was, at the very top of Castle Ravenloft, an overlarge crystalline heart organ of some kind that he was fiercely protective of.
It sounds like it's either his heart or someone he cares about's hearts. I've read too many super, evil people stories in my day to not immediately clock that as, a thing that might kill him or someone he cares about. Which I would love so much if it was someone he cares about.
Definitely.
But,
The only person he
suspicious.
cares about is your friend Irina. So think twice before you jump to conclusions about who you want to hurt.
Who was that?
Is it Irina or is it Tatiana? I wonder.
You know this Irina person?
was one of my companions. She was kidnapped.
Arxes, you met her. She was at the dinner table at Strahd's dinner.
We met
Ismark.
Tatiana.
Right. Well, Tatiana, Irina, they're technically the same in this instance.
I don't know if I would Katya doesn't consider them the same person.
Right.
So
the
she's
person that you had seen seemed just gone.
Yeah, she was one of my companions. Strahd believes her to be the reincarnation of his love. And so he kidnapped her, and when we saw her at dinner, the woman with red hair, she did not seem to be herself. She was acting like someone else.
Yeah, he has that capacity. I guess we can't kill her then.
Well, there's no guarantees, and I'm not complaining either way, but it's just that
We could take it hostage.
it's quite large. It's like the size of a room, right?
It's pretty big. It's like 10 by 10, I believe. I'll have to check again. I think it's like 10 by 10 or 15 by, no, I think it's 15 by 15.
Damn.
And it is ingrained in the top of the spire. So it's like the crystal comes from the heart, which sits at the center of this
I see what you're
gaping
saying.
center of this circular staircase that goes all the way up to the top.
Doesn't
And
that lead down to the dungeons where his resting place is as well?
that one does not, no.
Okay.
There is a separate staircase that goes further down in that same room, but that stairway that goes spiraling up, that does not. That is just that spire, and it's only that.
I think it would be useful for you to know, and I can at least divulge as much as I know about the palace's defenses before you make your attack, but short of, it is not odd. He must be dealt with at the source as well as elsewhere.
Right.
one other important note to state is that you were very close to it where you guys were staying in that lounge. It was a quick staircase up, and there was an entrance directly across the way. So you guys very well could have gone out that way, destroyed it, and left, but it was a bit of a quickened escape than it was a let's go explore Castle Ravenloft and destroy a heart. Tour. Exactly. So you would know that it was very close to where that was.
I do not necessarily divulge that information right now.
Do I... Remind me again, because it might be a little bit fuzzy on this. Was the final fight that my party had with Strahd at the castle?
It was in the
courtyard, right?
Courtyard. There you go. That's the word. It was in the courtyard, just right outside of the drawbridge. You guys didn't get very far before he just
Is that hard to get into?
The castle?
I'm sure.
Or the courtyard even?
Well, castle and courtyard is, well, I guess you could, you got it? Cool.
Yeah, I know what's up.
Go for it.
The courtyard is accessible, and the castle itself only accessible by the drawbridge, which spans the chasm on either from either side. I guarantee he will have changed the password for the drawbridge at this point, as I was aware of it and was the one who programmed it.
Right. And I suppose it's too much to hope for like a secret passage into the back of the castle or anything like that.
Jonny.
No. It is it is quite literally a spire of rock, and it is separated by a chasm. There's no way that you can even if you get to the base of it, I mean, it's on a mountain, so like you have all of that, you would have to climb up that mountain in order to climb up the spire. It wouldn't be practical. You'd be tired before you even get up there.
Just checking. There wasn't like a secret tunnel or something. I don't know. Okay. Just checking.
Well,
I will say that my philosophy is always situations like this, trying to take down a bad guy like that. When all else fails, brute force is required. So, I mean, worst case scenario, I could just smash our way in. With Von's help, we could totally do it. No, seriously.
Of course.
I know nothing of this palace. I've never seen it before in my life. I've never met my brother. I know nothing of him except he is a very capable magic user. And I am not. That is my knowledge of him.
You don't have to know him to break down his walls, you know what I mean? Not emotionally, but physically.
From my understanding, it sounds like there are other beings in this house that would be aware if we were to blow down a door, essentially. And if it is as Beatrice has said, a magical kind of contraption, I can't necessarily pick it open without alerting more. Would that be a correct assumption?
Yes.
Because from what I have seen, you are very capable with the things you do, so I would not expect that there is a flaw in the system for it.
I'll take the unfortunate compliment, given the circumstances. Thank you.
Of course.
That being said, he does have flaws himself, areas of blind spots. Your friend Irina being one of them. I'm sure their imposing nuptials has him very occupied.
That might be why we're getting away with what we are.
Do I know what his plans were around that? Was that going to be, I mean, he invited them to announce it. He wanted them to attend. I know that's changed.
You're talking about like the wedding?
Yeah. Was that like a big thing he was planning that a bunch of people were going to be coming for?
So there were a few things that happened when Irina finally came back to the castle. There was a lot of talk.
Room.
Right. There was a lot of talk between the brides. There was a lot of talk between the servants, and it was all... Rahadin was excited. The brides were not so much. The brides have kind of kept an independent life beyond Strahd. But they knew that all of his attention would be going to Tatiana. Outside of that, there weren't really any, like, grandiose plans in that moment because it was very quick by the time that Irina was taken to invitation for dinner. It was like a week maybe. The only thing that you let's do a check. We'll say history just to see if
15.
15. You know that there were plans. It was mainly to have the wedding in the chapel within the castle.
Mm-hmm.
As far as who is in attendance, what exactly is going to happen in the events, you're not entirely sure, but you do know the location. It is going to happen within Castle Ravenloft and within the next month or so. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less.
Understood. And the conversion process, would that take place after the ceremony?
Yes.
Interesting. Well, I will make sure that you are well equipped with a map, so that you can be well assisted on your way into the castle.
That would be helpful. Any information you have? Do you think would the wedding be the time to attack while he's distracted?
He certainly would be distracted. But he would also have any loyal personages from around Ravenloft there. Well, around Barovia.
That's true. Could be more problematic.
I mean, perfect time to take out all his underlings, correct? I mean,
Do we really
It's
want
a
to
thought.
take them all at once?
you know, you do stuff and then you deal with what happens afterwards. It's what I'm down for it though. You know, love crashing party.
You think it would be a possibility that some individuals in the castle that would be unhappy about this union would be more likely to side against him? Or do you think they are too devoted to him, regardless?
Given my past experience, it's likely they would side against your Irina. But she could make lovely bait
The enemy of
if
my
you're
enemy
interested
is
in
my
that
friend.
sort of thing.
I wouldn't want to put her in too much danger.
She's in Strahd's castle. She's in all the danger she could be.
Not if we're pitting people against her.
Not very nice people.
Ideally, I'd like to rescue her. She's still a friend.
Well,
And I don't have any basis for it, but I'm hoping that if we take Strahd's head, then she will go back to herself.
that is well and good, and as long as she has not already been converted to his ideal form of mate.
Right.
So you have less than a month.
Less than a month. Okay.
Time crunch is always fun.
Little extra pressure.
Are you? He looks at you very seriously, Katya, and but with care that you haven't seen from him before in his eyes, but Also, he's still Arxes, so it's kind of intense. If she is not her anymore, are you prepared to fight her?
If she is not her anymore, then that is not how she would want to live.
Respected. You've helped me a lot, Katya. If you want to rescue your friend,
If we can.
we will. Like I said, just leave me some of the smashing. Yeah. Who wants pancakes?
And
Gonna
with
be
that,
all the smashing you can handle.
Oh.
we're gonna go to
Smashing
break.
pancakes.
During our break, we are going to be giving away a free copy of Capers, which is the 1920s
Ooh.
Prohibition era in the United
Ooh.
States. Alcohol is illegal. Organized crime grows at an unprecedented rate as gangsters get rich selling hooch to a thirsty populace. Law enforcement struggles to keep up with an understaffed and underfunded Bureau of Prohibition. You are one of the handful of people who have been gifted superpowers. Will you use your abilities to build a criminal empire as a superpowered gangster, or will you focus your powers to serve the law and bring these criminals to justice?
Oh,
Well, you
the
can
other
do
one.
it yourself.
Really not. Why would we?
Well, I want to be a good
You
guy.
can do-
You know?
I want to be a
One.
cop.
Yeah, right. You can do either one with your free copy. Tonight's thing is going to be, what is it? Exclamation point giant. Why?
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 Why
The
that?
title of
knows?
the episode is
Why?
on
We'll
this as
answer
well.
that in 15
Hate
minutes.
that.
We'll see you all soon. Bye.
Good thing I got that potion.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Welcome back, everyone. So, we finished this conversation with a little bit of food at the top of Yester Hill, and we continue on. A path past this hill, heading down more south. I wanted to say further away, but then I'm gonna say further south. Yeah, further south. I guess that works. A road further south, leading each of you towards the Luna River that cuts between this large forest and the forest that you need to get on the other side of. Elvier brings you to this river and states, "Hey, this is a very big river. Sorsha flew. I had to
It's not a
find
problem.
my own way around."
I take out like a series of like wide discs and I like pass them out. Just attach them to your feet as I
Right.
cast Water Walk on all of us.
Okay.
Well, that was easy.
So, very easy, as you all, maybe not trusting at first, but step foot onto the water, the rushing water underneath, not seeming to have any traction on whether or not your buoyancy of this being able to just walk across. And you do. The river is about 800 feet wide, so you're able to just... Water walk lasts for how long?
It lasts for 1 hour.
1 hour. Yeah. Easy enough.
They're like discs attached with like cork and bits of bark, playing with surface tension. I just sort of like fabricate them quickly out of materials I have that day.
And you indeed make your way to the other side of the river, and it doesn't impede your travel at all. I was thinking that this was going to be a very big blockade to your travel, but alas, we have an artificer here. So,
Rip.
You come to the other side of the Luna River.
I turn aside to Katya at one point and gesture in the direction of Arxes. Don't you think he just looks natural walking on water? Quite the savior figure, isn't he?
I never thought about it before, but he's got the very regal look to him.
He lets down his hair.
Right on.
Yeah.
Coming to the other side, you find that the further you get into this forest, the larger the trees seem to get. It's to the point where it is noticeable within the first 10 minutes of the travel. You start to see the plants are larger. Some of the animals are getting larger. Squirrels that are usually able to fit within your hands are now the size of where you would need your arms to hold. But you continue traveling down into this forest.
The forest folk are in this area, correct? Should we be moving cautiously?
Yes. It's a little further. We still have probably half a day's travel, and then we, about midday tomorrow, we'll be there. There's no road, so it's a little difficult to get through everything.
Hey, real quick, I just want to...
Yes.
This might be rude, but I'm just going to insight check him real quick.
Oh.
Sure.
Cute.
Go ahead.
Gone, like I know we met him before and we're like real in tight with his family, but just checking.
Right. Mm-hmm.
13.
Which would be furious.
He's still
rolled a 3.
He's leading us somewhere good and not
It's actually
into danger.
Strahd. No,
I knew it.
it's Elvir. He's
Smite, yeah.
he seems to be trying to actually bring you there because he wants you to regroup with Sorsha.
Okay. Just double checking.
Sure.
Every time he interacts with Beatrice, she like smiles, and then as soon as she walks away, she just does this
Just
like,
gone.
oh, God. Like, she finds him a little bit exhausting because of how nice he is.
Understood. But you continue traveling into this increasingly larger forest. You finish off the day of travel, setting up camp, and begin your watches. Is there any specific things that you would like to do overnight?
I would like to do the alchemy check on the sap.
Sure. Go ahead and do, I would say, an Arcana or Nature.
Oh,
either one.
Is it not just my alchemy proficiency?
Oh, right. Yeah, your alchemy sets. Yes, you'd be able to do that as well.
How does that work, though? You know,
It
I
would
don't
be
know.
it would be your alchemy. So I guess it would just be your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence, I would say.
And I have expertise in alchemy.
So then it'd be your double proficiency bonus, which is 4 at this point, I believe, for each of you.
Yeah, so it'd be plus 8. So I guess an intelligence check. It won't roll it
Intelligence
when I'm
plus
hitting it.
8.
I think it's not set up correctly for me to roll it. But do you want me to make an intelligence check and just add plus 8?
Yeah, that works. As
Okay.
everybody knows, I won't be able to do that math, but y'all can help me out. Let's see. Oh, wow.
Oh,
Natural
32.
20 plus 5 plus 8.
Nice.
30,
oh God.
32. 33.
33. Damn it. I was trying to get it quick and I still fucked it up.
Oof.
I
Oof.
cast
Oh, well.
this. I'm just
Dang.
kidding. Yeah.
All right. So,
Add
natural
another
20
D4.
to a 33. God, I
Three.
almost did 32 again. 33. This is definitely something that you can use. Paired with a few herbs that you already know are native to Barovia, you can use this sap to most likely make potions of healing. It has some sort of life force within it that is almost innate but very imperceptible. You need to bring in some other components in order to emphasize that magic within it.
I see. With that natural 20, could I begin that work?
Sure. Yeah, you can
Possible?
definitely begin doing some of that work. And a great opportunity is ahead of you where you have a force that it becomes increasingly larger and larger, so you could begin looking for certain components that might give you an abundant amount of said components.
Got it. Okay. I don't know how you do time on stuff, but like for crafting things, but can I mark off some amount of time for work I've spent on this?
As you're traveling, I would say that you would have to make your own. This was specifically to find its components, or not components, but it's like effects that it can have. I would say that you would have to do some sort of the way that we do blacksmithing is that you make a tools check per hour.
Okay.
So I would say that that's kind of the same thing that we would be doing, except if you're traveling when you're doing it, I would give it disadvantage just because you're having to focus on walking and you're also
Sure.
working and all that stuff. Not so much that you're not careful, but more so that it's not the one thing that you're focused on all the time.
Sure. Just doing it over like breaks
Yeah.
or whatever. Okay. Well, I'll spend. Can I spend like an hour doing that this? How long? Do you know
Sure.
how long it takes to craft?
To make a potion of healing, I would have to check.
Okay.
I think I have an actual chart,
That's
but I would
all right.
have to check. I think it's probably like a day's worth of
Okay.
checks.
We can check it after,
Yeah.
but I'll go ahead and spend an hour working on that this
Cool.
evening.
Okay, so then go ahead and do one of your checks again.
I'll just do an intelligence plus 8. Uh, 13.
23. I almost said 33.
23. So
23. All right. Yeah, 23. That's definitely a success. So you are beginning to test certain components with this amber type liquid sap
Sure.
of the Golthius tree, and you're one step closer to crafting those potions. But with that, the night comes, and you all set up watches respectively. In the interest of time, unless anybody wants to do anything, we're gonna skip.
Beatrice makes sure to grab. Katya, dear, will you take watch with me?
Of course.
And you
Just
are
to-
on your watch.
Just to circumvent any awkwardness.
Got it.
Oh,
Got it.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So the watches
There's a
go
thing
uneventful.
I would like to do during my watch.
Vaughn, what would you like to do?
I would like to slip these flowers into someone's bag.
Okay. Whose bag would you like to slip them into?
Take a guess, Johnny. They're going into Beatrice's bag.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, whoever could it be?
Yeah.
I have like a hip pouch, and then I have the portable hole. I don't really carry a backpack. Just
Well, then I guess I'm just gonna awkwardly drop them. And do we have the portable hole out?
yeah, I've been leaving it out over watches,
Yeah.
I guess. So
Then I'll just kind of like set them out, kind of like around, like a few of them, just kind of in different places in the portable hole.
Okay.
That's
Just
just
do
all.
a stealth check.
Okay, I can do that. That was a GM roll. My sincerest apologies.
That's okay. It was an
secret.
18.
We don't know how well it went.
It's an 18.
It was a 27. No, 18.
Whoa.
Beatrice, your passive, it's gonna be way higher. So,
She's not wise. She makes bad decisions.
Vaughn, you are able to enter this portable hole, leaving your flowers here and there, closing it and returning it back to where Beatrice is. But the morning comes, and you are now faced with a couple more hours of travel. Elvir awakens with each of you, and Arxes makes breakfast once again. You continue traveling, and I would like each of you to do a perception check.
Fun.
Could I instead do an alchemy check and say that Beatrice isn't paying attention?
Sure. Yeah. Disadvantage on this just because you're traveling. Yeah. 24, even with disadvantage.
Plus 8.
Plus 8. Duh. This one's 32.
It is 32.
Katya does not see.
I got a 5.
Arxes does not see, but Vaughn does.
Shit.
Vaughn.
Yes.
As you're passing through trees and following a very rough trail, there is an opening within this forest of trees, a small glade where you can see the clouded sky above. And you swear you see a giant bird shape on the other side of the clouds above, passing by at very fast speeds. And when I mean giant, I don't
massive.
mean like, I mean massive.
Like gargantuan?
Like
Or like
gargantuan.
huge? Okay.
Just flying by.
And it's like gone in an instant?
Not in an instant, but it's
Okay.
it's like a plane that's flying by where it's just you can see it for quite a while, but you can tell that it's going pretty quick.
Yeah. I'm
Just flies by.
like whoever's nearest to me, I'm gonna like put my hand on their shoulder and like point in that direction. And I think tragically I know who it's gonna be, even though I don't want it to be that person.
Are you?
Everyone roll.
What?
I would love it. Everyone roll.
We're rolling.
Here we
20?
go.
Just a D20.
All right,
Just
great.
roll the
Got it.
6.
13. I keep rolling 13.
I'll roll on
Okay.
my end too.
All right.
All right. It is Arxes near you.
It's still Arxes, thank God. Okay. Just clap and like point at the big bird.
And with aid from Vaughn, you are able to also see this giant bird. And it's weird because you've never seen anything on the other side of the clouds above. You've never seen anything that's outside of Barovia. But it is a shadow of something on the other side of these clouds. There is something above.
Well,
It
that'd
is
be
huge.
interesting to fight. I mean, I'm sure it won't come here. I mean, if it does, then you won't have to worry about it because we'll probably be dead pretty quickly. So,
But why is it there?
yeah, strange things exist outside of this place. Dragons, other people.
Should we not investigate? I mean, it's hovering over a specific glade, at least in this particular moment. Would that be a trap of a variety?
It's gone by this time.
Yeah.
It's probably best we didn't interact with that thing, unless maybe it was cool. Sometimes big things are cool. Had a friendly conversation with a dragon one time.
Oh.
Yeah, they're pretty cool people. Insanely powerful. They'll kill you with like a look, but like it's a great time. Yeah,
You've lived a life that I could not possibly fathom.
it was a life of adventure to so long ago. With some, and he kind of just trails off as his face kind of drops, and
I did a socially bad. I did a bad one. No, I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
I pick up like the first random plant I find on the ground.
Sure.
And extend it to Arxes.
It's a yellow colored type of plant. It's, a long green stem that comes out to this yellow bulb. And as you grab onto it, do a dex save.
Okay.
You get a +5 because you're next to
Okay.
it.
Well, and I have danger sense as a barbarian.
Okay, sure. So yeah, you would see this coming.
Okay. Cool. So I have advantage on this as well.
Yes, you do.
And you get a +5.
That's a natural 20.
Natural 20. Okay. Okay. As you grab onto it and move it, you see the yellow bulb at the top open up, and this green ooze just begin to envelop the stem. You're able to get your hand out of the way quickly enough, but that you might want to be careful around some of the flora that's here, some of the unknown pieces that are in this forest.
Are you okay? Did you get hurt?
No, but I think I found another poisonous plant. If anyone's interested in those.
What are you two dawdling about back
They
there?
say loudly and to no one in particular.
There was a giant bird. Or
was-
some type of thing. I don't know. It was a giant
It
winged
was soaring
creature.
above the clouds. It was more than just a big bird. It was close and above the clouds, and then this plant is gooey, and it doesn't.
You didn't provoke
Matter.
anything, did you, Arxes?
Come on, you know me better than that.
I'm asking because I know you well enough.
No, I'm smart enough not to tangle with one of those things, whatever that may
Sure
be.
hope
It's
so.
that big. It's too strong for even me, I have to admit.
I sort of glance up at the sky. Do I see anything?
There's nothing there. Not
How
anymore,
close
at
is
least.
the tree cover? Like, is it
Tree
dense?
cover in terms of the trees
like,
that
is there
are
a
surrounding you.
dense canopy, or is it like you can see?
You just
these...
passed like a very small opening. It was probably the size, maybe like 30 feet altogether. And then now it's just dense trees again. These trees are a lot bigger than you've ever seen. The Golthias tree is still dwarfs these, but they're getting bigger as you go. Not to the sense of like a sequoia, I would say, but it's getting there. And with each hour that passes, it gets bigger and bigger. The tree cover, the leaf cover above is pretty dense. There are bits of gaps here and there, but most of the trees are very close together and growing very, very wide.
I mean, I can send Cosette up to have a look if it's a real concern, but it doesn't seem like if it's really that much of a problem, it would even fit down here.
No, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah,
I
Well,
think it's moved on. But we'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, because we would need to run away.
Bond kind of hurries ahead.
Good news is that it's probably about an hour and a half that way. We're almost there.
Did
Okay.
you put some kind of special thing in the soil out here or something? Like, what's up with these trees?
I don't know. That was something that I saw. Wait until you see the tree that they are in. The
divine
Golthias
sense.
tree was big. Just wait.
I swat away like an overlarge gnat. Yes, lovely. Can we?
Yes. Come on, let's go.
I'll Eldritch Blast it.
And as it's flying away from Beatrice, do a dex save.
Shit.
If you're close enough to me, you get a +5. If you're within
I would say
2 feet,
probably not.
you're
From your own
Oh
shot.
wait, I rolled at disadvantage for some reason,
18.
so just take the 18, I guess.
Luckily, you see this coming and you
Lord.
duck out of the way as Fly Guts whoosh, goes in a blast from this Eldritch Blast. One of the things about all of these animals is there's more to them now. So, it's another thing to keep aware of.
Let me know if another one of those things is bothering you. I got you back.
Of course. Where would I be without my savior?
So, you continue forward for another hour and a half. Beatrice, if you would like to do another one of your alchemy checks, you could do so.
Cool.
Again, with
Also-
disadvantage.
Sure. How many hours did I get out of the first one? Or I guess we'll just do it at the end of the day.
Oh, because of the previous check, you mean?
Yeah.
I would say that that's just like one check out of, I would say probably 8 hours. Whatever the amount of hours is, it's just one check for that. And a 16.
16 plus 8.
Right, then that is definitely another check. So that's another one, another success towards making this healing potion.
Thank you.
As we walk through, I do divine sins.
Okay.
Just once, just to rule. I know Arxes knows probably they aren't any of those things that he can detect with divine sins.
And
but it's
remind me
still
again.
Nice to rule them out.
It is Celestials, Fiends,
and
Undead.
Dead. Wait, let me double check. It's loading. Hold on one second.
You're good. No worries.
I can detect celestial fiends or undead of any being whose presence you sense,
Okay.
but not his identity. Within the same radius, you also detect the presence of any place that is or object that has been consecrated or desecrated, as with the hollow spell.
Right. No. You do not sense any of those creatures, nor do you sense any desecrated or consecrated objects or places.
Actually, I should have more divine senses now.
Yes. But, as stated by Elvir, within the hour, quicker than before, the trees surrounding you become as big as the sequoias, the redwood trees. They are giant. The trunks are twice, 3 times, 4 times your size. And they tower into the air, almost unseen, until you come to a giant tree trunk. It makes these trees look like they are toothpicks by the sheer size of the trunk itself. And the tree goes up to the point that you can't even see, where it is covered by the surrounding mist in this area. And as you come to this tree, you see Elvir say, "Oh, well, this is it. Last time there was a lift that came down here. But
A lift.
yeah, a lift. They live up in the tree.
In this tree.
Yeah.
You mean this mountain that you talking
Right.
about?
Yeah, this one.
The
It's
wooden mountain. Yeah. Okay.
it's quite the sight.
It is something.
And you expect us to climb that monstrosity?
I know. I
It'd be a
don't
good
remember
workout.
how Sorsha got their attention.
Perhaps
But
it's because she could turn into a bird and simply fly up.
I could climb
She-
up and ask them if you want.
maybe?
I'm not opposed to it.
Okay.
I could also just Eldritch Blast
Let's
down
not-
here. I mean,
I
that,
could send Corsair,
Let's
but
not
I
do that.
can't tell her exactly where to go.
I
Don't we have that bird of Sorsha's with us still?
oh
Why?
why? Oh, I always forget about why.
forgot
Why
you were
were
here.
you?
You just see
why been awfully quiet lately. Would you mind going and fetching Sorsha for us?
it look up towards the tree, back at you, and then just
Okay.
just leaves.
I was worried that was going to be more of a problem.
That was easy.
Well, I probably missed her a lot. Good bird, that why.
Reliable
Good bird.
bird.
truly the MVP of this party, honestly.
Then suddenly, you begin hearing the screams of a man coming from nearby forest. Ah! 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 And you hear twigs snapping, trees moving, the ground shaking. As this guy rushes out of a clearing, sees you, and just comes rushing towards you as you see these two giant wolves prowling towards it. They stop about 200 feet away.
Is the man running towards us?
There's a man continuing to run towards you. And they jump into action, and that is where we're going to end tonight's session as these wolves begin rushing towards each of you.
Towards us or toward the man?
Towards both.
Got it.
But with that, thank you all for joining us for tonight. If you enjoyed this episode, if you enjoyed being here, consider following us, consider subscribing. Please tell your friends about us. Do all the things to help us reach our 10,000 listens on our podcast version. All that good stuff. We have social media and all that stuff where you can find on our Twitch page, episode descriptions on YouTube and all that stuff. It is at TalkingXP. And then best way to support us is to tell your friends about our channel. It's free and it helps us out. So go do that, please.
Tell everybody.
Yeah, that's about it. So make sure to level up and we'll see you all next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.